There you go. Very good. All right.
Hello, everybody. Welcome. You know, if it's Wednesday, it's Blockchain Day. So welcome to Blockchain Chat. We are here today with a special person, my niece Richardson, who is going to be talking with us about blockchain careers. But before we do that, I'm going to ask you for a few things. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, we're trying to get our numbers up. So please like, comment, and subscribe to our YouTube channel. Also, the Center for Blockchain Studies, we have a new course that has come out by Mr. Daniel Addison. It is also all about crypto economics, and he is the person that really talks about security and the blockchain. So that's going to be a huge part of the industry. So if you want to get that course, you go to blockchainstudies.tech. That's blockchainstudies.tech and get that. Also, if you want to become a member of Black Blockchain Consultants, here we're all about the business of blockchain, how to get blockchain jobs, start blockchain-based businesses, invest in the blockchain, whether you're investing time or money in a project, and build generational wealth from the $3.1 trillion industry. You can find us, blockchainstudies.tech. There's a bundle. You can become a member and take Blockchain Studies 101 course. So for anybody who's new, you are able to do that. The other thing, February 19th and 20th, 2021. Yes, we know we're talking about it super early. That's because all of us are going to be on a plane. We're going to meet in Los Angeles, having our annual meeting. It's going to be different from what we said we were going to do in Atlanta. Atlanta was just too much pressure with, you know, break evens, and we would have had to have thousands of dollars coming in and all of that. We don't have time for that. And I don't have time for the stress, and neither does any of the other co-founders. So our wonderful member, Nadja Roberts, is giving us her place complimentary. We are not necessarily bringing in any special speakers. It's going to be more strategy sessions and more in-depth discussions about blockchain from the technology point of view, as well as from the business point of view. So if you want to come to that, just put it on your calendar for now. And we don't even know how we're going to set up tickets or anything like that, but whatever we do, just put it on your calendar. We'll tell you in the next couple of months how you can get into that with us. So, but it's going to be very laid back and fun, a lot of fun. We may even do a Soul Train line.
I'll start it off, guys.
So we also are being considered for a grant to work with some people that are potentially getting a grant from the Department of Commerce. And they will know in the next few weeks if they're getting that grant. It's $750,000. And if they get it, they want us to come to the table because the grant is around teaching minorities blockchain. So, and the person who is the prime on this is like, I won't do it without BBC being a part of it. You're going to have to go through Tawana. She's going to have to tell you how to, you know, get your name on the list and everything if you want to be considered. But these are the types of opportunities that we want to bring to you. And my niece and others have been working really hard in order to set these things up so that you are able to take advantage of these things, because we know next year is going to be the major year where those blockchain legacy systems are switched out. There's a lot of money that's going to be made in 2021 from blockchain. We want you to get involved and get your piece of the pie. That's what we're all about.
Absolutely.
So with that, all right, Dr. Keisha, introduce yourself and also let everyone know about SymbaChain and SCAS as well, and all the stuff that you're doing there, because y'all are doing some amazing things.
Yeah, you know, I am so proud of our Black Blockchain Consultant family. And like you were saying, Cherie, I'm super excited about meeting everybody who can come to the outing that we're going to have in LA, because I'm telling you, with my niece being one such example, the folks of the BBC are rich with experience, and they're willing to share. So it's really exciting what's going on. And in light of what we were just saying there, Simba Chain, we have a agreement with Simba Chain, which is what is that? A smart contract as a service platform. And we have been playing around with that tool in a special group and actually getting direct training from the lead trainer there at Simba Chain, Tommy Cooksey. And we just recently, just last night, we had a very interactive training within the inner circle. This is what happens in BBC's inner circle, where we were able to really go over some ideas and just work out some kinks and just really collaborate in teams. We created the Cool Kids team last night. So we're gonna come together and really outline some data flows and start to actually design smart contracts using the Simba Chain tool. And it was really exciting. You know, it was a struggle, but again, that's the first step in learning, a bit of a struggle. But I'm telling you, this is the year to skill up. So take advantage of, you know, the courses that are at blockchainstudies.tech. Make certain that you join BBC, because I'm telling you, this is it. We are in a moment in time where skilling up to be future ready. We're right there. We're right there, and we're a strong group of individuals that I am so super proud to be a part of. So, like I said, are we going to do the article first or hear from?
Yeah, we're going to do the article first, but I want to let people know, number one, if you get in like in the next week with Simba Chain, they're still just starting out. Let Dr. Keisha know right away if you want to get involved with that. Smart contracts is going to be a multi-billion-dollar industry. So I want you to think of it in terms of when Facebook first started and businesses wanted to get on and they wanted to learn how to make money using Facebook. Smart contracts are going to be the same way. There are a lot of industries that are going to get impacted by smart contracts, and you can be on the front line and one of the innovators in smart contracts, because right now it's an open field. And for $220, you all are getting thousands, tens of thousands of dollars each in training. If you wait 3 years to get on this, you will have to pay for it. That's all I'm going to say. I won't say that you can't catch up. I will say you will have to pay for it. So now is the time for you to take the time and do it with a great group of people as well. There are, 30 something people in that group. And my suggestion is, and I know that Dr. Keisha's taking it to heart because I see the comments going in that group, is to figure out what you want your portfolio to look like and create a portfolio of smart contracts, because that's going to be your sample work. Just like a writer has a sample work listing, you will have a sample of smart contracts you've created at the end of the 6 months. And then you're able to present yourself to companies and say, I'm a smart contract expert. Here's my portfolio. That's what I suggested to the Simba Chain group. And it looks like they're taking advantage of that and doing it that way, because that's how other, coders and people like that, that's how they do it. And there are going to be people in smart contracts making 7 figures. And I would like some of you to be in that group. Absolutely. Okay. All right. So with that, we are going to, let's see, I think my niece is having a little bit of technical difficulty. We're going to talk about the, are you there, my niece? Oh, she's still having a little bit of technical difficulty. Okay, we'll let her figure that out. We're going to talk about Deloitte. Deloitte came out with his blockchain survey for 2020, and we are going to share the screen here and talk about it. So this is from CoinGeek. Blockchain is solidly entrenched in global firm strategy. This is as of June 22nd. So this is just a couple of days ago. Okay. So Deloitte, which is Deloitte and Touche, surveyed 1,488 senior executives across 14 countries. Compared to their 2019 Global Blockchain Survey, there was a significant increase in the interest and implementation of blockchain across businesses. This year's survey suggests that blockchain is solidly entrenched in the strategic thinking of organizations across industries, sectors, and applications. 39% of respondents had already implemented blockchain into their processes. This is as of 2020, and this is globally. So you have to recognize that a lot of this is skewed because this is an international survey. Some countries like China and other places have a lot more of a blockchain presence. The United States doesn't have as much of a blockchain presence. So when we're looking at the 39%, it doesn't mean 39% of all businesses. Even if it did, that'd be great. But here in the United States, it's much less. And then in 2019, they only had 23% of respondents. So in 1 year, another 16% of respondents have implemented blockchain into their processes. So this is about to grow. I should show y'all that, that graph. Dr. Keisha, if you can find that graph, Rogers bell curve with the technology, how it goes up. If you can find that for me, that'd be great. 83% of respondents reported that they would lose a competitive advantage if they did not adopt blockchain. Okay, 83%. So when we start talking about being blockchain consultants, this is very important because people are thinking, these executives are thinking, if I don't get on the ball with blockchain, my competitors are going to surpass me. Okay. A majority of respondents from each country believe that digital assets will be an alternative to or replacement for fiat currency in the next 5 to 10 years. It is also important to note that 54% of respondents said the blockchain is overhyped. Now, when I read 54% said it's overhyped, that doesn't mean it's not helpful. It doesn't mean it's not going to be impactful to them. They're just saying it's overhyped. So like Samson Williams used to say, blockchain is not like hot sauce. You can't put it on everything. Correct. You know, however, blockchain is seeping into processes. It's seeping into processes. So how are corporations using blockchain? Top 5 use cases are digital currencies, data access and sharing, data reconciliation, identity protection, and payments. So if you have not picked a major yet, these could be things you consider. One of these is top 5 use cases. They did not mention tokenization in here, which we know will be $27 trillion of money going through. So you want to get into that, talk to the titan of tokenization, Eric Spence. Or they did not mention smart contracts. And smart contracts as a service. See Dr. Keisha, see Daniel Addison. Daniel Addison is also leading all about blockchain and security, which is going to be another big piece. Some of the identity protection is linked into the security, and the data sharing is linked into the security as well. So respondents claim that there are still a few barriers to prevent them from implementing a blockchain, including replacing or adapting existing legacy systems. So this is where Talisha comes in. And we did something a while ago in blockchainstudies.tech around how to start a blockchain consulting company. And it had the questions in there that you would want to ask a company to determine if they should consider a blockchain We have to go back and find that, but I know it's in
I'll pull
blockchain
it. Yeah,
studies,
I
what that
remember
class
this.
is. Also, potential security threats. So again, Daniel Addison, you know, and anybody who wants to take on blockchain and security, this is one of the major reasons why companies are not adopting blockchain. Concerns over sensitivity of competitive information, lack of regulatory clarity. So any of my lawyers out there, lack of in-house capabilities, skills and understanding. All of my educators, my teachers, my instructors out there. So there are other reasons as well that people are not bringing on blockchain. So that is the that specific article. Welcome back, my niece. So
can you guys hear me?
yes, we can hear you. Yes.
Thank
And Dr. Keisha just put the class into the chat with regards to being able to consult with companies on the platform they should select and if they need blockchain at all. So the class is learn the process of selecting a blockchain platform. Learn the process of selecting a blockchain platform. That's at blockchainstudies.tech.
Yeah, it's a course with 3 sessions where you learn some platform specifics and then how to position yourself as a blockchain consultant, and then some duties with the tips and tricks of and the things you need to know really to consult effectively.
Yeah, so that's a really great course if you want to be a generalist. We've talked about that before. So if you want to be a generalist, getting that course, because there are a lot of companies out there, for example, IBM, if these big company, if these companies reach out to IBM and say, hey, I want to do a blockchain, they're going to be sold Hyperledger no matter what. However, I believe there are quite a few companies that are going to want an agnostic, you know, platform agnostic professional to come in and ask, do you need blockchain? Do you really need it? And if so, what's the best blockchain for your situation? So that course is meant to help with that. So Dr. Keisha, I want to throw it to you. I had a lot of stuff in that article. What did you think of it? You know, what things hit home for you?
Oh, you know, primarily just the fact that we really are in this time where, as you've been talking about, the legacies, the businesses are recognizing the applications and use cases for blockchain technology. We've gotten past the early years where, like they mentioned, that things were really hyped, and when people spoke of blockchains, it was only Bitcoin. It was always just considered that. But you know, going forward here, it looks like looking at the numbers is still kind of that half space. You know, I do have that picture of the technology adoption life cycle. I want to kind of put
Yeah,
that up.
I did. Yeah, so we can
Oh, you got it.
show that as well. Yeah,
Okay.
I pulled it up because
Yeah,
you
kind of
sent it here. So yeah, I mean, we've talked about this before in the past. So with any technology, you have innovators, early adopters, then early majority, late majority, and laggards, you know. So you could think about it kind of like Facebook, for example.
exactly.
You know, Facebook started off with the innovators being the college students, and then early adopters, early majority is when the older people like us started getting into it. And now we're really with late majority and laggards with Facebook. Well, with blockchain, we're still in the innovators section.
And that's
Of
what's
the
important
life
about
cycle.
this particular diagram shows the chasm there between, which is that, and we really with coronavirus and the like, it really has accelerated.
Accelerated.
You know, this reach up and over this bell curve, but there's still that chasm there, because you're still, you know, we still need the infrastructure in place. You know, there's still regulations and such that need to be worked out. But that's where we're at, guys. As soon as we bridge that, you know,
And also the interoperability as well. So
correct.
we had that conversation last week.
Mhm.
And we're talking from the business of blockchain, we're talking about when the real money is going to be made. The
Mhm.
real money is going to be made when the early majority gets in, and it's going to be made by the innovators and the early adopters.
Yeah, as we understand it, because it's us who will be, making the use cases abundantly clear to those
Mhm,
who, once they're ready, because,
mhm.
everybody's going to jump on once the beautiful user interfaces are in place and the user experiences are worked out, so it's, we're the alpha testers at this point, trying out these ideas and getting everything worked out. So, as soon as something comes out that's really usable for the general public, which really exists in different ways, but again, we're privy to it because in our circles, this is the kind of conversation we always hear. But as soon as it makes that leap, that's when we all will be in a good place.
Absolutely. And you all know, I always tell you, it's not what you know and it's not who you know, it's who knows you, right? So, right now is the best time for you to become known in the blockchain space
Mhm.
because the people who are known get the best opportunities. When I was a business plan writer, the reason why I did so well, and I stopped writing business plans last year, and I still have people contacting me every single week. Cherie, can you write this business plan? Cherie, can you write this grant? Why? Because they know me. And then they're like, I don't know anybody else who can do it, please. I had a guy that's like, whatever it takes, come out of retirement, I'll give you money, and you want to be like that. You want to be that person. So how do you become known? By becoming a part of BBC Inner Circle, by going to networking events, by going to conferences, and not just knowing Black people either. Like,
Yeah.
definitely know the Black people because they'll bring you along. But, it's about knowing various people within blockchain and tech overall. Go ahead, Dr. Keisha.
And I was going to say too, leverage your technology. We've seen how powerful, reaching out and leveraging LinkedIn in particular. We
Mhm.
have a course that should be opening up on Sunday, how to optimize your LinkedIn profile so that after a while, blockchain opportunities will be pushed to you. I mean, you know how these social media sites are set up with algorithms to grab your information. So if you're not posting that you are your interest in blockchain, your major, your particular focus in blockchain, it's time to start doing those things because those algorithms are pulling on data. We know data is the new oil, is the new gold in this ecosystem. So, we know they're pulling information on us. Let that be the information that they're pulling on you, so that information will start being pushed to you in terms of opportunities and the latest, greatest information as it relates to blockchain in the particular area of interest that you have.
Right.
So yeah,
So
watch for that.
Cheryl is asking how she can get involved with smart contracts. So
Yeah.
Cheryl, I'm not sure if you're a part of the inner circle. So if you are not a part of the inner circle, the first thing I would suggest, if you want to be a part of our community, is to join BBC, and you can do that at blockchainstudies.tech. Then once you do that, there is a group. So you come into what we call Flock. Flock is our internal communication system. And there are different groups that, gather to talk about different parts of blockchain. There is a group called Simba Chain. And with Simba Chain, that is our smart contract group. Getting in there is the best way for you to learn about smart contracts. We also have a smart contract course in blockchainstudies.tech that'll give you the basics of smart contracts. And Simba Chain is a way that you're able to apply that information. We also have a YouTube channel, and I'm sure we've done a couple of different smart contract discussions as well. So yeah. Cheryl is asking, what if you're not that tech savvy? Does it matter in this circle or will it be taught? So we cater to people who are not extremely tech savvy. So it will be taught. The first thing is to know the basic vocabulary. which again can be taught in that smart contract course that we have. And then once you get in, what we focus on here is the business processes. So we are Black business, Black blockchain consultants, and we're all about the business of blockchain. So what we do is we say, okay, if you had this company and they're considering blockchain, they're considering doing some sort of a smart contract, how would you consult with them to determine if they should use a smart contract? You know, what are the steps you would go through? How would you actually outline it for them, and how would you get them from beginning to success? So more like a project manager and a business development, our business analyst is what we focus on. So I hope that that was clear.
And let me encourage you too, Cheryl, in that regard. You know, we talk about experts in this space, and you know, it's evolving so much that really what keeps you as an expert is being someone who's, you know, continuously surrounding yourself and learning what's new and what's next in the space. And then as Cherie was saying, you can get from being surface if you go and focus in on a major. And we suggest a lot of times, you know, if to leverage your own existing professional skills, because the truth of the matter is blockchain technology will cover so many aspects and so many sectors of businesses, you know, and industries. So again, I'm not sure where your knowledge is on it, but once you understand how it works and where it applies, you'll notice the verticals where it fits and the processes where it will work in your particular industry, in which case you can basically future ready your existing profession or find a whole new angle based on your new, you know, revelations about what blockchain is and how it impacts business processes and the like. So again, none of us are you know, technically inclined. I won't say none of us because we have quite a mix of us. But so don't feel like this, you know, that you need to have something already in place. We're learning together, and it's a safe place. It's a safe place to learn. So I absolutely encourage you to join if you're not a member already.
Yeah, yeah, and the industry is so young that it's okay. You know, I mean, you'll be able to get away with a lot now because the industry is so young. So with that, my niece. Oh, I thought she had her tech issues fixed. It looked like she was doing well there for a couple of minutes.
She'll be back shortly.
Okay.
When she gets going, she'll be on the way. All right, my niece, you're on, honey.
You're on, my niece.
Take it away.
She can hear. You can't hear? I
see you're muted though, that's for sure.
She is muted. But she'll have to unmute herself. I can't unmute her. Well, I'm going to go in and I'm going to, my niece, are you there?
There she is.
Yeah, yeah, hey. Can you hear us?
I'm sorry, y'all, with, yes, I can hear you clearly.
As can we can hear you.
It might have to be a verbal webinar because I'm struggling. I have weak pockets of packets coming through my internet, so you know I'm in a little town, but it's not clear and it keeps dropping me off.
Okay.
Okay.
Okay. Well, why don't you get started? Do the best you can. I'm going to open up that that file that you sent me a couple of weeks ago as well. So
yeah, we can help you. Did you?
Yeah, if you drop off, then I'll Dr. Keisha and I'll be able to pick up.
Let me make sure I have anything. I don't have anything. Well, maybe she did put it in block. Let's see. Let's see where it's block. Cherie, do you already have?
Yeah, so I'm looking. My niece did an excellent. She sent me this really good rundown of blockchain careers. So give me a minute to find it. And
Likewise, I'm looking. Let me see if I can have her send me.
and of course, it's not in our one-to-one. It could be in the careers, the job opportunities. Let's see here.
Sure.
Because I saw it and I'm like, oh, you got to come and talk about this. So,
And here's an option too. She could call in as well,
yeah,
because I know it's,
in here.
that might be really
Knowledge
clear.
sharing. I didn't think it was a knowledge sharing.
Let's
Yeah, I mean, we won't spend too much time on this. We can kind of talk off the top of our heads if we need to, but she did a really good job of showing like 7 different blockchain career options, and it was definitely in a file, and I
search under.
am not sure where it is, so. Flock is not always the easiest place to find stuff when you're looking for it.
Sure. Can I see?
Okay.
I catch the replay. Okay, no problem.
Yeah. Yeah, it's not in here. Okay, so let's job opportunities. I doubt I didn't think it was in real estate. Okay, so I'm not seeing it. This is 100 Miller Co. So why don't we do this then? Why don't we open it up? Oh, somebody showed it here. Blockchain Career Path 2023. Richard, where did you, what Flock channel did you find that in?
Just a general search and see if something comes up.
Yeah.
Here it is. Here it is. I got it.
Okay. Yeah. Do you want to share your screen?
Yes. My niece.
It looks like my niece may be back too.
Because I don't know. My niece, you there?
Oh, she was for a second. Let's just get,
okay.
Let's just get started. Yeah, we apologize, guys.
There we are. All right, where's my screen? Share screen. Get all that stuff off of here. All right.
All right. So this is the very top.
Yeah, this had her.
Okay. Okay. Perfect. So yeah, so when I saw this, I thought that my niece did a great job of kind of talking about some options for people based on you know, the type of career that you want to have. So I thought we'd just go through this and have a discussion for people who either want jobs or want to start blockchain-based businesses. You know, what do you need to know in order to get into these different careers? And Dr. Keisha and I obviously are not prepared or as prepared for this. So we may be Googling, and we're going to ask you to Google as well and drop stuff in the chat as we are doing this. So, because we've got another 20 minutes left. So the first is a blockchain architect. They're responsible for designing the blockchain network. I know that there are various types of, at least in the cybersecurity industry, there are security network people who, you know, do architecture. They do system architecture. And a lot of them have computer science degrees. So this is a high paid person, $150,000 to $175,000 a year. And they're familiar with Ethereum, Ripple, Bitcoin, and building the protocols. So the type of person who is able to take something from A to Z, but also understands the technology and understands how to talk to the engineers, that's going to be your blockchain architect. So you can definitely take a look at that if you feel a lot more technically inclined. Then there's the blockchain engineer. I think they're a level below the architect. They're responsible for designing blockchain solutions, responsible for following the instructions of the architect, and building the applications. So again, mid six-figure range of individual, and they're usually, you know, a lower level person below the architect. So you also have the developer, the blockchain developer. They're responsible for building decentralized applications and smart contracts. He or she gets their direction from the blockchain engineer to build a specific function pertaining to the application. So again, if you want to learn Solidity, if you want to learn, you know, any of the protocols and want to get in, ground level is a blockchain developer, it looks like. So
Designer.
blockchain designer, responsible for designing, implementing, and supporting blockchain-focused websites and user interfaces, more on the back end. They have a salary of $80,000 to $90,000. So again, more of a technical person there.
And now these are the below the designer, are more positions that get into kind of what we were saying before, leveraging, potentially kind of leveraging your existing skills. If you're somebody who is already in security management, or you already are familiar with network security measures and that kind of thing, you can now, you know, blockchain optimize that position. So there's the blockchain information security analyst, who would find breaches in the network. Of course, so that's huge. You know, if you're able to create projects in the form of tokens, but you don't have the proper security measures, then, you know, that's going to be a bust. So this is a huge position right here. Anything that deals with cybersecurity and certainly information and understanding that we understand data is huge. So securing that data is a big deal position.
I want to make a comment about this because I, for a while, was recruiting cybersecurity people, and there are a couple of, if you're looking to get in on the ground floor, there are a couple of cybersecurity certifications that you can take. And depending on where you go, there's like really good job placement as well, because there's a lot more cyber jobs open than there are people to fill them. And it's an area where you can quickly like get up, you know, climb the corporate ladder. So if you wanted to do that either as a job or as a business, I would definitely suggest you look at cybersecurity, and cyber is not going anywhere. So Ryan Cooper, I see that your hand is raised. Just put in the chat if you really want to come on. So saying, I was an internal auditor for 9 years. How can I combine that experience into blockchain? You mean an accountant auditor, or what kind of auditor were you, Ryan? You're working on your CISA cert.
Internal auditor. I would imagine those skills, there's skills that would transfer, just in the sense of if you're a person who's has an attention to detail, if you're auditing processes or anything like that. Once you have that overlay of understanding of blockchain and the like, I would imagine it would, you're auditing, let's see there.
Oh, yeah. DCAA audits and government contracts. Okay, so I know a little bit more about this. So yeah, so auditing processes is a big thing. You can also, so there are a lot of blockchain companies that want government contracts. That could be a great way in for you. Talisha talked for a while back about the government actually using blockchain for procurement and for other aspects of government work, so you can get in there. There's a lot of different ways that I think that you can use any kind of DCAA audits, knowing about government contracts in order to get in. I know Accenture, for example, has a huge blockchain group. Others have blockchain groups as well. Oh, hey, Dr. Sexton, how you doing today? Tax treatment of cryptocurrency needs knowledgeable accountants. Yeah, Dr. Sexton is right about that. So,
Yeah.
oh, you had a job at Accenture once, Ryan? Yeah, I mean, but any of the big or mid-sized GovCon, like I would go there. So, so yes, my niece, we can hear you. So perfect, perfect. So, just want to go through a little bit more of these, especially some of the non-technical ones like the blockchain project manager. So if you're a great PM, or not just a project manager, but also there are product managers as well, you would want to take a look at that. So right here we have project managers. You have a great understanding of blockchain and the blockchain architecture and the software that's used to build the blockchain application. For a product manager, you would need that as well, but really you would be the person who organizes the architects, the engineers, as well as the sales, sometimes the salespeople, depending on how big the organizations are. So we have here the quality engineer. So they're responsible for quality control, network upgrades, and updates.
You can hear me, okay.
Yeah, we can. Yep, we can hear you.
Very clear.
That's perfect. Yes.
Okay, you can hear me, but you can't see me. Is that correct?
No, we can see you too. Yeah.
Oh Lord, wait. I got two things going on here.
No. Keep both. Keep both. Keep both.
Because it's perfect.
Don't mess with it. It's perfect. Whatever
Okay.
you did, keep it.
All right, so let me go over to this screen. I'm so sorry about going back and forth.
Oh, that's
You're doing
okay.
perfect now.
So we're gonna, if you don't mind, my niece, we're just gonna go through the rest of your list and then have you come in and talk about some of your favorites here, knowing that our group is non-technical. So we have here the blockchain legal consultant, responsible for reviewing legal aspects of ICO documentation, and not only ICO documentation, but now all the legalities around blockchain. Also, with the legal consultant, you're going to have consortiums coming together and competitors coming together, sharing information on a blockchain. How is that going to work? So legal can take a lot of different functionalities with this. Legal could also be people who are lobbying Congress for certain laws as well. So you got a research analyst taking care of data mining techniques and statistical analysis. So I don't know what that means exactly. I would imagine also you could do research with regards to consumer research, use case research, things like that. Marketing specialist. So if you're an analyst going for an ICO, or without an ICO, or if you build any projects, you will need to have a marketing specialist who can handle your project. So yeah, if you're great with marketing, you can be a blockchain marketing specialist.
Exactly.
90 to 110K.
And this is really one of those kind of, I'm sorry, Cherie, this is really one of those positions too, I mean to say, where if you're a marketing specialist already, you know, this is where you can blockchainize your, futurize your existing position. Because when the tech folks are focusing on the tech, that's what they're really hard focusing on. And they still need someone to make this stuff user-friendly to their target market. Yeah,
so we have here blockchain marketing specialists, but also community managers as well. There's a whole section of people that just do community management and getting people excited about a blockchain project. They don't necessarily need an ICO in order to do that. It could just be a blockchain project that you want to get people excited about. So you got a data scientist or analyst that's for researching and analyzing blockchain data. You got a business development rep. This is your salesperson. So anyone who does not want a ceiling on their income, you want to be able to make unlimited amounts of money, consider getting into sales.
Sales.
Technology sales is huge. I used to recruit for that. Tech sales is huge. So anyone who wants to take care of sales, partnerships, alliances, you know, you can sell to the government. So Ryan, going back to you, if you decide you want to start selling to the government, you can be a business development rep or BDR for either a blockchain company or a another company and sell their blockchain, you know, systems, and then lead the proposal writing and things like that, whatever you feel comfortable doing. So yeah, so that's 90 to 150,000. I would say base for something like that is like, depending on the company, 60 to 80,000, and then the rest is commission. So blockchain technical recruiter, okay, identifying and screening potential blockchain project candidates. So if anybody's a recruiter in here, you can work for a blockchain company. And then a blockchain intern, you know.
Interns for
Interns. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
Right.
So with that, we are going to drum roll, please. Welcome the beautiful, my niece, Richardson.
You're on, my dear.
And you're on mute, hun.
I'm gonna stop sharing.
You got people cheering for you, but yeah, you're on mute.
Yeah, they're waving, they're cheering. I'm gonna stop sharing.
Let's see.
On the screen.
Let's see here. Unmute. Oh, she was so good before. What happened? Oh, she's having such a hard time.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes. Hey. Yes.
Oh my God. It's so funny. I see you being excited, but hear me, I can't even hear you. I can't hear you. Hold on.
Well, we can totally hear you.
Try
So it's
something
great.
else.
We can hear you.
Oh Lord. I'm gonna keep on smiling through.
We can hear you.
We can hear you. Just go. Just go.
Here. That's my headset.
Share your mind.
Can you guys hear me?
Indeed.
Yes, we can hear you.
Oh wow. Okay, so you can hear me, and I'm working with a real janky system here because
No.
it's thundering outside, and it's pretty rough. Okay.
Oh my goodness. Well, tell us. So
I wonder if you can see my screen. Can you see my screen?
No.
Okay. All right.
Just talk to us because we have
I'm
10
over
minutes
here.
left.
I'm gonna
Just
try
talk to
something
us.
different.
Tell us some of the things that you discovered in your research.
Okay.
Denise?
Just talk now.
Yeah, we hear you. Huh? We hear you. Go ahead and talk.
All right. That devil, he's something else, so that's okay.
Maybe I need to write the
Oh
question.
yeah, so just tell us some of the things you discovered in your research, my niece.
Okay, so now I'm on my screen.
Yeah.
My internet is unstable, y'all. Okay.
Well,
Let me
just
try
talk on the
something
phone.
here.
Talk on the phone to us. Can you talk on the phone?
Okay. Talk on the phone. Okay. Well, okay. So you can hear me, okay?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay, some of the things, oh, I'm getting an echo. Okay, some of the things that I discovered, oh my God, I'm getting an echo back. Oh, let me see, let me turn my volume down. Some of the things that I discovered, oh my, ah.
Well, we can hear you fine.
You may have to turn off your computer and just talk through your telephone.
Oh, maybe I should have did this. Hello?
Yes, we can hear you.
Okay. Are you able to see my screen?
No, but just
Okay.
talk because you got 8 minutes, my niece.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Well, some of the things that I discovered is I'm getting an echo for somewhere.
It has to be on your end.
I'm getting an echo for somewhere.
It has to be on your end.
It is on my end, yeah. Let's see here.
We'll try to ignore it if you can, and just tell us what your favorite career was, and how you came about the research you did.
Okay. So how I came about, can you repeat the question again, please?
Yeah, just tell us, you did this research, you came up with this document, tell
Oh
us your
yeah.
process and what you discovered while you were researching.
Okay, so it was basically a compilation of different areas that I researched it. And as I started researching, you start to kind of start to see things that are kind of the same over and over again in essence, because it's such a new industry that we're in. It's a kind of early. You start to kind of look at things and you start to say, oh, I've seen that as a project engineer or project architecture. But what I find is that all of these careers that we are in currently now will be also available. It's just that you're going to have to add an additional layer of education for yourself in order to incorporate yourself into this new ecosystem, because if not, you pretty much are going to be out of a job. I hate to be so frank, but that's just kind of the way it is. So let's say you're a project manager. When your company is merging into the new ecosystem or the new technology of blockchain technology and smart contracts, as a project manager, you want to get into the general basic knowledge of it, because they just want to be able to know that you know something to help the company along. And that also makes you more valuable to your company when you go out there and learn. And I was asking one of my colleagues the other day, Daniel, about deep learning. And deep learning is about, it's not so much going to a class or going to a university. It's more so about being able to educate yourself independently on your own, because the information is out there. It's on the web. It was on Web 1, Web 2, it's on Web 3. You got social media, you have colleagues. And so you're able to do deep learning in order to take free classes online and free programming classes to learn the understanding. Most companies right now at this early stage, infancy, they want you just to understand the basic knowledge of where to implement your blockchain or smart contracts and how you can incorporate that into your current position. So not to worry, but BBC is here to help you, but you also have to do your due diligence in terms of educating yourself. And there's so many resources out there to educate yourself. And this space that we are in right now is a good start in terms of the Center for Blockchain Studies, being able to take some of the courses that we have to offer for you. We're also building premium courses and certifications. We have webinars and chats and et cetera in order to educate you. Also, you're able to reach out to your individual members and colleagues that can help you answer questions such as myself. If you have any questions, my information will be down below, my address and my phone number. I'm on the East Coast. You're more than welcome to call me and I can kind of break it down for you as such if you have any further questions.
Great. And what career really surprised you as you were doing your research? Was there any that grabbed you?
Yeah. That's a good question. And let me just take a look at this slide right quick. You guys can't see this slide, but I just wanted to bring it up so I can kind of be on point with this slide. Oh, no, not that one. Oh. Okay. One career that really struck out to me is that it's more like a, development, like a developer. First of all, sales is one. Okay, customer service is one, and education. But sales, there's no cap on your salary if you go into sales.
That's
and
true.
all you need to do is educate yourself on the basic foundation of blockchain, how it can be implemented into your company, how your company, can be able to incorporate these resources and these new legacies. What I find right now, and I don't mean to be stumbling over my words, I'm just trying to cut everything short because I had this beautiful, floral presentation and all this stuff, and technology, as we see, caused me to have some challenges today. But if you're in your company, you've been there for quite a while, 5, 10, 15 years, you know that there's some challenges or problems. And so the solutions is how are they going to be incorporated into the new ecosystem? So for example, they have a legacy system that they've been dealing with for so many years. How are they going to be able to merge from a legacy system to a more digital system, a blockchain system, and how that's going to be help them to be more efficient. So if you can speak that to your superiors, you're good as gold. You've wrote your ticket to your future. There's no cap on your salary, and you won't have to wait for someone to give you a review every year to give you a cap, because you have the answers to the solutions, and you also have the resources such as BBC, the Center for Blockchain Studies, or the Blockchain Consortium International. We're here to support our people, so therefore they can be able to be a part of that generational wealth. I do want to mention, this is really important. I'm going to put this link below, or have Cherie and them to put this below, but it's all about The Black Tax by Sean Rochester. It's a book that I advise you to read. It really is interesting, and it gets into the generational wealth and how we're missing currently right now in 2019 to 2020, we're missing like 6 million jobs across the broader Black community in America. And then secondly, of those 6 million, 1.4 million businesses, with employees do not employ African Americans. And then finally, while there is 2.6 million Black businesses in the country, only 4% of those businesses, or 109,000, actually have Black employees. So what I'm saying is that you not only want to think about working for your current company or another company, you also want to mainly think about entrepreneurship, because this is, I don't know about you, but you have to be kind of creative in this space. And if you're not creative, then you're going to be a part of that 42 million out of a job, because you don't know where to put yourself, because you're so used to being programmed and accustomed to working or have someone telling you what to do, that there's a lot of opportunities. I don't even know how to explain it. There's so much opportunities that my head is swollen sometimes when I be talking to my colleagues, because you just have to create your vision, you create your opportunity, and you need to be independent and own your own business.
Yeah, I mean, you said a couple of things there that I want to hone in on. The first is that there is a disparity between, Black people and the jobs we get. So the number one employer of Black people is the government. The number two employer of Black people are Black businesses, and our businesses don't make enough money to support employees. So that's one of the things. I'm gonna give a shout out to the 10K project. That's one of the things we're focusing on and talking about within the 10K project. The other thing is, it's not just about being an entrepreneur, it's also about creating what someone referred to as super teams. And super teams are groups of people that get together and create companies. So Facebook didn't get started by itself, right?
Mm-hmm. Right.
Instagram didn't get started by itself. I think a lot of times we as Black people want to be lone wolves instead of coming together and saying,
Exactly.
how can we be in a pack?
Exactly.
Mm-hmm. And it's okay. Look, I'm fine with not being in charge, as long as the leader, I can say, okay, the leader's competent. I'll follow. I have no problem with that whatsoever.
Yeah.
So
Definitely a supporter.
Yes.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But with that, what you're saying is so accurate. And then the final thing that I will say, which is very, very important, is the time to not be on your A game in blockchain is now. Right. Because the industry is so young, because there are so few people in it, because we get calls from people are begging for Black people to get involved in this. I send notes out for guests for blockchain chat, and I get an overwhelming, oh yes, I didn't even know you guys were there. Oh my goodness. We had Alistair Caithness come, like a libertarian, Australian guy come. And that's just because I sent him a blind note on LinkedIn. Yeah. So now is the best time for people to get in. 10 years from now is going to be too late. I won't say it's going to be too late.
Yeah.
You won't be at the top tier.
Exactly.
If you wait until 10 years.
Yeah.
And I will say, even if you decide, hey, blockchain isn't for me, I want to do AI, I want to do robotics,
Yes.
I'm just asking people to do something. And that was where Make a Move Made came in. Like, pick something. Whatever you pick, just pick something, you know,
Right.
and do it. Ryan is asking about internships for adults. I think internships for adults is the same as internships for college students.
Exactly.
Pick something, pick a person you want to work for, person and company, because with internships, you're looking for relationships. Unless you're going to work for Google or Facebook or some name, which I wouldn't suggest you do.
Okay.
It would be better for you to look for a person that you want to study under, or a project that you want to be involved in. So
exactly.
the person who mentioned health insurance, and they're doing something around blockchain for the health insurance space, I would look for an internship in that space so that I can get some direct information and contacts and things like that in that space. And I just say be strategic about it. And now's a great time. So internships for adults, I would, instead of calling it an internship, I'd call it maybe independent contractor. I'm willing to come and do some, you know, free work for you for a few hours a week. Here are my skills, you know, could you use me for something?
Mentorship or sponsorship. I have a question. Can you guys see, I wanted to share this one slide I pulled up. I think I don't know, I've had it for a long time, like a long time. If I press share screen, can you guys see my screen? If I press
we
share?
don't see it now.
Okay, hold on.
We can try it, but we don't see it now.
Sure.
And let me, while she's doing it, Daniel, our data scientist in BBC, is saying he'll be looking for interns coming down the pipe real soon.
Ooh, yeah, y'all want to get on that.
I know that's true.
Can you guys see my screen now?
Yeah, we can.
A lot of things though.
Can you see
that?
that?
A lot of stuff up. Yes,
okay,
we
perfect.
do.
There we go.
Yeah. Okay, so let me slide on down because I missed all of this good stuff here. But anyway, let me slide on down. And I want to show you this one slide right here. Okay?
Yes.
Yes.
So this is a slide that's familiar, excuse me, with, I'm sure everyone is by the Blockchain Training Alliance. I didn't create this slide, but I just wanted to show you, you know, some people, they get kind of, I guess, confused or brain fog, like, you know, how am I going to be able to fit into it? If you just keep everything simple, then you'll be able to glide on the ice a little bit more smoother and not panic. But I think that, you know, there's not very technical people in blockchain, and then there's technical people. I think I kind of fall in between both areas. And what happens is I have constituents such as Daniel or like Brent or you know, as these new members come in, you start to have a relationship with these members, and they are so invaluable. I can be up for 2-3 hours talking to them, picking their brain, and they can ask my questions, and it'll help me along my way. It's a journey, but they're there to help me and help each other. And it's almost like you're bartering your knowledge, you're bartering your education, and you're getting along through it. But it looks like right here under the not very technical, it's kind of letting you know that you don't have to be extremely technical, but you're looking at you're trying to demonstrate a basic business understanding of blockchain. And this is what they want, just a basic general knowledge. It's just like when you're getting ready to take your driver's license, you have to read the book and you have to have the basic knowledge, and then you have to get into the car and drive. And that's how we are right here with blockchain. And then with that, it's telling you you have the ability to demonstrate the business understanding of it. So if you're a project manager or a blockchain architecture, you have to have the understanding of how it's going to be incorporated into your company's infrastructure. And that's pretty much how you're going to sell yourself. So I can sit up here and go through each one, but we don't have that much time. But this was one of the slides I wanted to share with everyone to let you know that, you know, there's non-technical people and then there's technical people, and there's a path. I'm also going to create a specific type of, like a mind map or whatever for BBNC later on that I can attach it to our flock for our members. That'll kind of give you a little bit more of a simpler way of looking at this, or schematic, so you can kind of get an idea like, hey, I have a project management, maybe I can consult in project management, and you can just go to different companies and just have them to have like 4 phases. And the first phase might be the beginning phase of how to implement blockchain into your legacy system for the first 6 months. You know what I'm saying? Or something like that. And then just go from there.
Right. So one thing we did not see on here that you are also leading is the Thought Leaders Group. And there are people called futurists out there. For example, futurists are people who talk about the future of the economy, for example. And there are some people that make millions of dollars a year being a futurist and just looking at where things are headed. And then they consult with huge companies on the future, for
Yeah, that's
example, or
awesome.
economists are, as well, or thought leaders. And again, it's something where you don't have to be very technical, but you do have to be well read. You have to have a broad
Spectrum.
group of people. Yes, group of people you're talking to, periodicals you're looking at, things like that, and then be able to synthesize that information and summarize that information into bite-sized chunks for those who need it and longer pieces of information for those who need it as well. So I would encourage people, if that's your forte, if you have like the forte of being like a journalist, where you're able to grab all this information from a whole bunch of people and put it together and represent it. I think being a part of your Thought Leader series, my niece, is something that people should really look at. So why not the last thing we talk about be just a few things with regards to the Thought Leader series? I want to see some, 100,000aires and millionaires in this Thought Leader group as well, because we need that, and we need our faces as thought leaders out there.
Be sure.
Yes. I'm sorry. So you want me to talk about
the Thought Leader?
Yeah. So the Thought Leader Group is actually a new entity for BBNC. I'm actually the ambassador of Thought Leader panel for 2020, and I'm looking for individuals. They can be individual entrepreneurs or owners, or even individual entities. So you're a thought leader if you actually are even running your own department of your company, and you're managing different issues and projects and people. And these are things that we want and we need in our group, because it allows us to continue to educate and share information within our spectra, our diaspora of people, to be a thought leader. So it's not just a person who's like a SME, which stands for a subject matter expert. It's kind of a couple of steps beyond that. And I would recommend that you look at the YouTube video on thought leadership that we have in our flock for Paul Bronson. He explains it very well. It's actually 2 hours long, but you don't have to listen to it all at once, but he really explains it all as well, in terms of being creative, being innovative, and being challenging yourself to reach out to other people, as well as focusing on your area of expertise and being able to educate, teach, and train in that area other people. So therefore you're considered that thought leader for that particular entity, and you just kind of master yourself in that entry. So it's almost like you've already graduated from college and now you're working on your master's or your PhD, and you want to specialize it, want to be more detailed into your area of expertise as a thought leader. Of course, you can go on to Google, and you can, Google thought leader, you can have YouTube. So there's so many resources out there for thought leader, but we're not just looking for a subject matter expert. We're looking for thought leaders who really can lead in their industry, as well as in this space of BBNC and the Center for Blockchain Studies, as well as CBI, and being able to educate those that are looking up to you, almost as a mentor or accountability person, looking up to you for that knowledge and that information that you have for your area. So get into your lane, stay in your lane, and master your lane. And sometimes it's really interesting. What I'm finding is that sometimes there are thought leaders out there who don't think that they are thought leaders. And so what I try to do is I try to bring it out of them. Okay. So for example, I have a colleague I recently met, I think it was 2-3 months ago. She's a young woman out of California, and she specializes in government contracts. And we had a slight issue at first with, I guess I would say more like value. And so I had to, as a mentor, as an accountability partner for her, I kind of adopted that position. I helped her to a point where she was able to go to the stage. Of course, I'm behind the curtain, so she was able to go to the stage and be able to present all these skills that she had under wrapped. And it's almost like a butterfly, you know what I mean? Like a cocoon and a butterfly. And so now that she's opened up her Pandora box, she's so excited about being a thought leader and also about her subject matter. And so she's very creative now. So she starts to bring these ideas with me, and I'm like, I'm gung-ho for everything, you know what I mean? As long as it's blockchain and she's making money, I'm ecstatic. So, we're here, and I think it's important. We're at a time right now where history does repeat itself. And so I think Sheree had mentioned something about being the lone wolf. Those days are kind of gone. You're going to need people to help you, your colleagues, your friends. You're going to need a type of group, a meetup group, a YouTube group, LinkedIn, especially LinkedIn. LinkedIn actually is the playground for adult business. You want to talk about adult? The person who's talking about adult on here, I don't know what his name is. He was talking about a internship. That's for like a high school to college. Now we're adults, so you're gonna have to probably rephrase that to say, the adult playground of business is LinkedIn. And if you master LinkedIn, even on the scale of not even paying for the premium, like I have the premium. That's only because I want to be more closer to the top dogs, and I don't want to really kind of kick boots and with the gatekeepers, you know what I mean? So you have to kind of sometimes invest in yourself in order to get what you need to get and go where you need to go. Okay. So the gentleman who's talking about internship, I think you should probably think of it more of a strategic way of communicating, because here's the thing: when you guys see those conventions and those virtual conferences and stuff, let me tell you, that is key. Here's the reason why. They're letting you know on the virtual conference all of the vendors and the constituents and the business owners who are going to be there. And those are the ones that you should link to their LinkedIn account in order to communicate with them. And I'm going to be, I haven't talked to my my 5 founders of BBC yet, but I'm going to be wanting to create a class where it's going to kind of give you what you call etiquette on LinkedIn, because I wouldn't want you guys to go to LinkedIn and like, hey, John, I'm from BB&C and I'm looking for a job. Can you hire me? No, we're not trying to go there. What we're trying to do is educate you in a way where you're intelligent enough to peruse a person. When you're dating a person, you don't go from date to marriage in like 1 week or 1 month. You have to be able to court that person. And the same thing for LinkedIn. Like I say, I want to be able to create a class where you understand that there's a level of etiquette and there's a level of professionalism when you're approaching these guys. Because here, I just had the webinar the other day from a gentleman from Truffle. Okay, from Truffle. And he distinctly says, don't even try calling him on his LinkedIn account and try to tag him or even network him. Talking about, well, yeah, I'm looking for a job. Can you hire me? He wouldn't even open your conference. He wouldn't even open your thing. You got to get to know a person. You got to get to know what they're about. Hey, sir, I was at your convention the other day and I saw that you were talking about this subject matter and it was really, really interesting. Well, what do you think about this particular Ethereum smart contract? Da, da, da. You got to be on their level of language in order to communicate with them. So I wouldn't want you to go out there not being educated, representing BB&C, because that would totally embarrass me, because I'm passionate about my position here as a member, as well as, representing my other colleagues as well. So I'm really passionate about our growth. And so I wouldn't want you to disrepresent BB&C in a way where, you're handicapping the process of how we teach and educate our individual colleagues.
Yeah, well, thank you, my niece, for that. And if you'll stop your screen share for me, please. So I'm going to answer Cheryl's question here. I do want to say that my niece, connect with Dr. Keisha, because that's a great part of the LinkedIn class that she's putting together with regards to LinkedIn etiquette, definitely. Okay. The other thing I will say is I was asked to speak at a virtual conference last Saturday, and I participated in a couple of the sessions, and just getting in and chatting during the session made a big difference. And the final person that I wanted to connect with she gave her email address and her phone number because there were only a few people, in that virtual conference. And I texted her right away and said, oh, I'd like to have you come and speak, to the 10K project. And texted me right back because she knew my name. Why? Because she had just seen me in the chat. So if you're going to virtual conferences, try to go there and be present if possible and chat. Even if you're saying, you know what, great comment, I like that. Ask a couple of questions. Those people will remember you. And then when they see you on LinkedIn, they'll be like, oh, that was the person that asked a great question during the virtual conference. And you have more of a chance to have a relationship. This is relationship building.
Exactly.
I would suggest you create a top 3 list. The 3 people that if you met them, if you had a half-hour conversation with them, they could take your career, your business, your whatever to the next level. The 10K project, for example, has that list. Dr. Keisha and I are working on it now, on contacting those individuals. Like, if these people said, blessed us, then it'd be all right, right? BBC, we have a few people on that list. I need to build it out a little bit more. But I think everyone should have their top 3 list. The final thing is Cheryl is asking this question. Once I join BBC, will someone be able to consult me on the courses or where to begin? So she's saying that she's interested in smart contracts, but are there prerequisites? Okay, so when you come into BBC, there is a welcome committee that will talk with you with regards to how to get involved with BBC, the things that you should be taking, what you are looking for within BBC, so they will definitely guide you. With regards to smart contracts, there are no prerequisites for Simba Chain. That's what the group that we were talking about. However, I would suggest you at least get the smart contracts course on blockchainstudies.tech so you can know the language and the lingo and that information. And I'm not saying that just to sell you another course. I'm saying it because you want to make sure that when everyone is talking this foreign vocabulary, that you understand what's going on. So, yes, so that would be my suggestion. If you're able to take Blockchain 101 and Smart Contracts class, that would be even more ideal. And that way, especially if you're trying to make money in blockchain, you will sound more like you know what you're talking about. Because I'll tell you, I've been in a couple of rooms and they see a brown girl and they think, oh, I got to talk to her like she's 5. And if you don't have the air about you, like, no, I know what I'm talking about, then you'll get run over. You'll get run over because you'll be one of a few. So Cheryl's saying most definitely trying to make money. I completely understand. So yes, perfect.
And I'll reach out definitely to you, Cheryl. So I have your email address.
Yeah, and we're here to support you. So once you get in the flock, people send messages to me all the time, so you can feel free, and I will definitely respond to you as well. So, alrighty then. Well, we've been on here for almost an hour and a half, and it is time for us to say good night. My niece, thank you so much. Next time we have you come on, we'll just have you call in to be on the panel, because we seem like that seems like that's the way to work it.
Yeah.
And someone is saying here, can someone reach out to me for help growing my business? Ryan, send me a note and let me know more, and we'll connect you with the right person. Okay. All right, everybody. Good night. God bless you. I hope you have a great week. And
thank y'all. Have a good one.
Thank you,
Thanks so much for working with us tonight.
Great conversation. Thanks, everybody. Good night.
Good night now, everyone.